everyone, this is ReeferGil here. In this video I wanted to share my experience with this Purple Tang that's about to come across the screen. I purchased the Purple Tang from my local fish store. The Purple Tang was still being temperature acclimated at the local fish store because he had just been shipped in. So because we didn't know what his condition would be like, the local fish store sold me the Purple Tang at a really good price. I brought him home, put him in quarantine by himself for about a month. He was fine, and then I transferred him from the quarantine tank into the display tank, and within 2 to 3 days, bam, he had ick. Talk about the blood rushing out of your head, because you know, I have all these other fish in here, I have all these corals and rocks, and it was going to be impossible to remove just the tang without having to remove all these rocks and corals. So I started doing a little research and trying to figure out how I can treat the guy in the main display tank with the corals. We all know, scientifically speaking, that there are only 3 methods to treating ick properly, and that is by doing copper treatments in a quarantine tank, by doing hyposalinity in a quarantine tank, or by doing tank transfers between 2 hospital tanks. With that said, there's a scientific data and then there's real life data. Our experiences with dealing with ick and treating it. So what I went ahead and did is I'll show you the regimen a little later in the video of the things I used to treat him. Once I started this regimen, the ick disappeared, literally disappeared off of his body for about 3 to 4 days after the treatment started. It's now been an entire month and he has still been ick free. I was waiting and was a little hesitant to do this video too soon, because we all know that ick has approximately 5 stages to it, and we'll go over the stages. Alright, so there are 5 cycles to the life of ick. Each cycle has a scientific term to it. I'm not going to try to pronounce each scientific term. We'll just go over the cycles themselves. The first cycle is when the ick is attached to the fish's coat. You'll see this by way of salt-like grains scattered throughout the fish's coat. Oftentimes the ick will also just attack the gills, which makes it a little bit harder to diagnose it. Either way, the fish will start scratching its body on the surface of the rock or the sand to try to get rid of that ick. This stage lasts between 3 to 7 days. Once the ick finishes feeding off of the fish, it'll fall off the fish to the bottom of your system and start the next stage. This is when it crawls around the bottom of your system for anywhere between 2 to 8 hours. It's a really quick stage. The next stage is when the ick becomes a cyst and lays dormant in your system anywhere between 3 to 28 days, depending on the temperature of your water. The next stage is when the cyst bursts and you have the free swimming stage of ick. This is when the ick has 24 hours to find a host to attach itself to and start the cycle all over again. In the vast ocean, ick is not a big deal. Most fish will survive it, but in the confines of a small aquarium in your home, ick is going to kill off your fish unless they have some kind of built-in immunity to the ick. So now that we have a better understanding of ick, we'll go ahead and go over what I did to try to cure my Purple Tang in the display tank. When my Purple Tang came down with ick, I had to come up with something to get rid of it. He was in the display tank with the corals and all that. So this is a regimen I used here that's on this table. In addition to this regimen though, I increased the temperature of the water to 82 degrees and I removed all my media from the system. The reason I removed all my media from the system is because I was using this Ich Attack. It's an herbal formula and it is reef safe. It's got mixed reviews, guys, so if you're gonna use this stuff, check it out online. Not necessarily mixed reviews on it doing harm to corals, more or less doing mixed reviews because people said it didn't work, and it probably didn't, but Because of those reviews, I decided I was going to throw a couple more things at the problem, which was increase the temperature of the water was one of them, and also to use this Kent Marine vitamin C, both by soaking it into the food and by dosing the system twice a day. I dosed the Ich Attack twice a day. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I also dosed the Marine C twice a day in the system, as well as soaking it into their food. The Garlic Extreme that you see here, I've always used that, 2 drops of water in their the fish food. However, once the Purple Tang developed ick, I went from 2 drops to 5 drops of Garlic Extreme in their food, and then I allowed it to soak for a longer period of time. I purchased this Micro Feast allergy stuff. It's irresistible to the tangs that maybe you don't want to eat. My tang didn't have that problem. He ate like a beast all the way through, so I haven't yet fed it to him, but he'll be getting some of that later. And then I also fed him some red seaweed soaked in garlic as well, and he ate all that up. So as long as the fish are eating, I think we're okay, because you'll be able to attack the ick from internally with the Garlic Extreme and the vitamin C, and externally with the Ich Attack, and raising the temperature of the water. So that's what I did. He's been ick free for over a week, and he's doing great. Like I said, he's eating like a beast, looking very, very healthy. No signs of ick whatsoever. In the beginning of the video, we discussed the scientifically proven methods to treat ick. The experience that I'm sharing here with you guys in this video is not a scientifically proven method to treat ick. However, real life experience is that my Purple Tang came down with ick in the display tank. I treated it with a regimen of a variety of different treatments to get rid of the ick in the display tank while not harming any of the corals or inverts. Within 2 days, 2 to 3 days, the ick disappeared off of the fish, which could be a natural process of the ick falling off as well and landing at the bottom of the system to start its cycle again. However, that cycle only takes between 3 to 28 days, scientifically speaking, depending on the temperature of the water. The warmer the temperature, the quicker that cyst is going to burst. In my experience, the ick fell off doing the treatment and has been ick free for over 2 months. The natural process of ick, its life cycle from beginning to end, should only be about 30 days, scientifically speaking. So we're well into 2 months now with this fish being ick free. So the only thing I could say is that the regimen that I threw at it had something to do with the system becoming ick free, or at least making the fish immune to the ick itself. I wanted to share a conversation that I had with my LFS regarding tangs with ick. I shared with them that I watch YouTube videos, and a lot of the reefers, one of the common themes is ick with their tangs. He said that he had a conversation with his wholesaler who suggested that during the winter months, ick is more prevalent, especially with tangs, because of the colder water temperatures. The tangs' immunity is lowered, thus making them susceptible to getting ick. So I thought that was a interesting statement that he made. I haven't been around long enough to experience all the seasons through the year with my reef tank, so I don't know how true that is, but I wanted to share that with you guys, and maybe some of you more experienced reefers can chime in on that. But that will conclude my video. Hope you guys got a little something out of it. Please feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.